I don't know if you can hear it, but it's thundering. Like it's thundering really good outside. So, I want to show off my VHS collection because I just got a huge expansion for it. Expansion. It's not a video game. I bought a bunch of them because it's a hobby that I have, and I hate to see these things get thrown away or disposed of into landfill. So I always encourage people to donate them or find another use to them, or sell them. So I bought quite a bit. Like I bought two boxfuls, and I kept about half it. The other half, I'm either going to donate or sell. More than likely donate, depending on what's opened up in my area. But I wanted to show you because originally I only had like maybe 3 or 4 VHS tapes in my entire movie collection, but now it takes up an entire storage space, and I've got it like in this little compartment in my wall. And here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, this is what I've got going on. For those that might be too young to know, this is what we used to watch movies on. We had this. I didn't grow up with Laserdisc or Betamax. VHS was my thing, and then DVD came in around the mid to late '90s. I collect mostly Blu-rays and DVDs now, but there are some movies that are difficult to find on DVD and Blu-ray that are easy to find on VHS if you go to like a thrift store, or if you just go online. It's like all this stuff I found on Facebook Marketplace. But I just kind of wanted to go through and show what I have. Now these are all my regular movies. I've got my horror movies over here in my backdrop, and a lot of these movies I have seen, some of them I haven't, I've never even heard of. So first we've got American Beauty. This is starring Kevin Spacey, and I think that's pronounced Annette Bening, I think. I haven't seen this movie. I've heard it's great. I know it's kind of messed up, like at least that's what I've heard. And then these are two I grew up watching as a child. It's An American Tail, and I apologize for the lighting, because I'm kind of in an awkward hall space. And then its sequel, Five Will Goes West. Now, from what I understand, they did make another one of these, so there's at least 3, but I've only seen the first 2. Here's another one that I don't think a lot of people have actually seen. Arabian Nights. It's a TV movie. It was split up into 2 parts in 2000. It's a retelling of the 1800s classic story. I mean, there's Aladdin and the 40 Thieves Tale. This is a really good movie. Unfortunately, it's not available on Blu-ray. It is available on DVD. But I would love to see a 1080p HD remaster of this movie because it's a beautiful film. I started watching a little bit of it the other night, and unfortunately, this particular VHS is not in great condition. Like, it's watchable, like it's fine, but compared to some of the other ones that I've watched over the past couple of weeks, it's deteriorated quite a bit. Here's another one from my childhood, a phrase you'll be hearing me say a lot because I grew up with VHS. Balto, that's a good one. I like that one quite a bit. I know it's not historically accurate. I don't even think Balto made it to the end of the actual race, but it's a good movie regardless. Bachelor Party, starring Tom Hanks. I love Tom Hanks. Never heard of this movie. I've never seen it, but I'm excited to watch it. One of the guys that I bought the tapes off of had a CRT TV. It's in the next room. And of course I got my projector. Both have a VHS player connected to them. And so I like to have my projector in here for my main movie watching. And then like at night when I'm ready to go to bed, it's like I'm not quite tired, but I am ready to go to bed, or it's just too stinking hot in here because the AC's in there. I'll just hang out there and watch movies or TV or whatever.
And then this one is Batman, the Tim Burton Batman. It doesn't have its original sleeve, but this movie in particular was one of the movies I watched the most often on VHS. And I still absolutely love Tim Burton's Batman. I might even like it more now as an adult. And here's one that's been talked about a lot here recently, Batman Forever. Rest in peace, Joel Schumacher. Batman Forever has actually grown on me quite a bit over the years. I like it. The more I watch it, the more I like it. And I think that this cut that they're talking about, that is an extended cut, could be very interesting, because I think Val Kilmer is a feasible Batman, and I think that Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones are really goofy and over the top. They're basically Jack Nicholson's Joker, except on steroids and not as interesting or even intimidating. But nevertheless, I like Batman Forever. And speaking of Batman, this is another one of my favorites that I used to watch. Batman Sub-Zero. This is a movie about Victor Freeze, one of my favorite Batman villains. If I remember right, the plot of this movie is Victor Freeze's wife, who has this really terrible disease. She's in cryosleep, and it turns out that Batgirl is actually the only person living that has the same DNA as... It's like a DNA thing or something, and Mr. Freeze is wanting to do some sort of swap so that way he could take Batgirl's DNA and put it in his wife's and hopefully regenerate his wife's body. It's what I remember of it. It's not like a convoluted thing or anything. It's just I haven't seen it in years, but I'm excited to watch it. And of course, here's another Disney classic, Beauty and the Beast. Personally, I prefer the one with Ron Perlman and Linda Hamilton. Love that TV series, but this is a good movie too. I haven't seen the live-action remake with Emma Watson, but I've heard it's good. And here's another just all-around classic that I haven't seen, Ben-Hur, starring Charlton Heston. For some reason, I thought Kirk Douglas was in this. Maybe I can't. What other movie am I thinking of? Coppola, let me know. But Ben-Hur, I missed the remake that it came out a couple of years ago. But I just love sword and sandals movies, of course, when they're done correctly. Blue Steel, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. I watched this one a couple weeks ago, and this is a really good movie. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis, Clancy Brown, terrific actor, and Ron Silver. It's a really good cop movie, and it's kind of messed up, but it took me by surprise just how good it was. And here's one that I saw all the time at like Family Video, Bicentennial Man, starring Robin Williams. I believe he plays a robot or an android of some sort. I haven't seen this, but I remember seeing it all the time at Family Video, and I just never picked it up for some reason, but now I have it and I can eventually watch it. And here is a comedy classic, Caddyshack. This is a really funny movie. I haven't seen it in a good while, but that was one that I was really happy to find in the box. And I used to be really into westerns in high school. I still like them, but I don't. It used to be I would watch one a week. Like that's how much I was into it. It's, as I'd watch one western and then like 2 horror movies, and that'd be like what I would do throughout the week. And Captain Apache is kind of one that is not well known. It stars Lee Van Cleef, one of my favorite Western actors. I love Clint Eastwood, Lee Marvin, and John Wayne is okay. But Lee Van Cleef, I think, is a very underrated actor. I think he's fantastic, and I liked him in this movie. It's kind of a cheesy movie, but overall, it's pretty good. Charade, starring Audrey Hepburn. I don't know what this movie is about. It's obviously old, but it's in a nice case. I like these type of cases. I don't like the bottom ones where the tapes can potentially fall out, but what can you do? And there's that. It's not the new movie, obviously. It's the play, but I'm sure it's just as horrifying, and that's all I'm going to say about that movie. No offense to people who like it. Cinderella, Disney classic. I love these casings. Takes me back. I don't. I'm not a mega Disney fan, but these are really good films. They're just really great. And I haven't seen them in forever. And here's Daylight, a Stallone movie. I think it's extremely underrated. I think it's just as good as Cliffhanger. Like, I love Cliffhanger. But Daylight is really good. It's a good thriller. It's a good disaster movie. And here's an action thriller that I haven't seen. Enemy of the State, starring Will Smith and Gene Hackman. I don't know what this is about, and I actually kind of want to go into it blind, but I was just like, it's a thriller, and you got me by the two leads. And of course, there's a friggin' sticker, bane of my existence. A Spielberg classic, E.T. I think I've seen this once as a kid, but I honestly don't remember a whole lot about it. Like, I mean, I remember a lot of the classic scenes, but E.T. is not one that I watched a lot when I was a kid. I think, I don't know what it was. It's a good movie. I'm not disputing that. And next is one of the most controversial films right now, Gone with the Wind, which I've been watching since December. I've been watching it in like 5 to 10 minute bits here and there. Still not done with it yet. I might do, once the internet cools off, I might do a video about this. But thoughts real quick. It's a beautiful film. I mean, it looks like a high budget movie from the 70s. Like, it doesn't look like a movie that was made in the 1930s. The cinematography is just something else. It's just, you know, if I was going to film school, that would be one of the films I would want to study from a cinematography perspective. The characters are extremely unlikable, and I think that's done on purpose. Everybody's pretty selfish. Everybody knows why it's controversial right now, because it's got slavery in it. And I will say this: there's this really great scene that I love, where Clark Gable's character is talking to, it's shortly after the war, and I believe all the slaves have been freed, but some of them have stayed with the family, and he's having a drink with her. Like, they're drinking together and they're just talking, and it's the best scene in the movie so far. And the reason I love it is because it's sort of an equalizer, because he's come to respect her and to respect her place in the family, because a lot of times this character, she's like the only one that doesn't put up with Scarlett's bullshit. Like, and that's why she's the best character in the movie, because Scarlett's awful. Scarlett's an awful character, and so is Red. But the thing is, I love this scene where Red and Mamie are having a drink together, and it's like he finally sees her as an equal. And, you know, I'm a big fan of growth and character development, and to me, I think it's a beautiful moment. Slavery's awful, and I don't condone, romanticizing it, but I think that scene is a good representation of change and the attitude of change towards slavery, and seeing other people as equals despite color of skin or whatever, and that we need to learn from our history. And that's all I want to say about it, because I'm not an expert and I don't pretend to be. It's just a scene that I really love. Next is Firebirds. This stars Nicolas Cage, one of my favorite actors, and Tommy Lee Jones. I think it's a fighter jet. A fighter helicopter movie. Jets and helicopters, very different. Excited to watch this because Nicolas Cage, he just brings his all. I just love him. I think he's just so interesting. And Hardcore, starring George C. Scott. This is a thriller about a man who pursues his daughter, who's kind of trapped in the pornographic underworld. This sounds super interesting. And George C. Scott is one of the greatest actors ever. Loved him in Exorcist 3. He's amazing in Exorcist 3. So I'm excited to watch Hardcore. Next is a completely different movie. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Very funny. I'm going to try to start going through these a little bit quicker because if I keep talking about these at such a length, this is going to be a 2-hour video. Highlander 2. Why do I have this? Why would I go out of my way to buy this on VHS? Well, this is the theatrical version, which has the Immortals being from the planet Zeiss. I've never seen the theatrical version. I own the director's cut, which is awful. And this is supposedly even worse. So, curiosity, man. I mean, I keep telling myself, I made it through Twilight, and I made it through The Room. I feel like I could survive anything, but I might be wrong. Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I put under I. So I don't think they didn't add Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark yet because, I mean, it was just called Raiders of the Lost Ark. They didn't know if they were making any sequels, and then Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. But on further DVD and Blu-ray releases, they've called it Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. So I just put it on I because it's just easier. It is just easier. And next, of course, is The Last Crusade. I love all 3 Indiana Jones movies. I used to actually like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And beforehand, I didn't own any of the Indiana Jones movies, and I plan on getting all 4 of them in like the Blu-ray pack. But I've liked Kingdom of the Crystal Skull less and less the more I've seen it. I think the first 20 minutes are great. I think it's a great opening action sequence, and the rest of the film is just downhill. I think Harrison Ford's fun in the movie as the character. It feels like he never left, but it's not nearly as good. It's just fine, whereas the other 3 are really good action films. In the cut, starring Meg Ryan and Mark Ruffalo and Intacto. Next, Into the Blue and It's a Wonderful Life. I watched this last Christmas. This is a really good movie. Next is Jesus, and this was actually factory sealed still when I got it in the box. So that means it's never been watched, and I actually put it in for a little bit to watch it. And this is it's a short, like 90-minute movie about Jesus' life. You know, it's very condensed, but it looks good actually. Like it's very well preserved because it's never been watched. And then I've got Jurassic Park 3. This one's okay. Like I haven't seen Jurassic Park 3 in quite a bit. I really liked it when I was a kid. Cats are knocking over the camera, of course. The Lion King. Haven't seen this in forever. Thought the live action remake, well, you could debate. Live action is debatable. Was good. Little Mermaid. This would be really interesting in live action remake, especially after DC did Aquaman, and and it just showed off how awesome underwater scenes could be. Monster Ball, starring Billy Bob Thornton, Halle Berry, and Heath Ledger. And some of these tapes didn't even come in their original boxes. Like, this is Mary Poppins. Yeah, but it's the original tape. It's just, it doesn't have its original box, that's alright. I mean, I prefer it have its original box, but it's better than it being a recorded tape, because those did not have very good quality. So I remember being a kid and I would record like episodes of Dragon Ball Z to watch later, and the quality would not be that great. Mac and Me, haven't seen this, but I was shocked to find this in that little box, because I would imagine this is hard to find because it's a cult classic. And I mean, if you're a fan of Paul Rudd, you already know what that's all about. If you don't, look that up. Look up Mac and Me and Paul Rudd. It's hilarious. It's one of the funniest ongoing gags he's been doing for like 20 years. Here's 2 that I'm not sure if I'm going to keep because I have them both on Blu-ray. The Matrix and Men in Black. I used to go over to my grandma's and watch Men in Black on VHS, and it had just the exact same cover. So I'm probably even just going to keep it for nostalgic reasons. Here's Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. I think this might just be, I don't know if this is an actual movie or if it's just, yeah, it's a story told in the form of an anthology. and it features a lot of his music, which, I mean, I love Michael Jackson. I think Thriller is the greatest music video ever. Van Wilder, Deadpool before he was Deadpool. And here's Neverending Story 2. Never seen this one. I saw 3 with Jack Black and, of course, the original. And again, this is another one where it's got the original tape, but not the original box. Nightmaster, 9.5 Weeks, which is about like an erotic, abusive relationship, like pre 50 Shades of Grey, and I'm sure it's better because, no offense to people who like that movie. And Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in America. Look at that big thing. It's got 2 tapes. It's like Gone with the Wind. It's just such a gargantuan movie. You gotta put it on 2 tapes. All right, so don't laugh, but I like this movie, Princess Diaries. That's all I have to say about that. It's funny, and I love Anne Hathaway, and Julie Andrews is a great actress. Raptor, this is a B movie that I've never seen, but it looks amazing. The Raptors look fake as fuck, and I can't wait to watch it. 2 movies of completely different quality, Reservoir Dogs and The Return of Jafar. Robin Hood with Kevin Costner and Morgan Freeman. Never seen this, but I'm excited to watch it because, I mean, that just sounds like a great cast. And then I watched The Santa Claus with my friends in Norway. We watched that. I know Christina had seen it, but I don't think Michael had seen it before. And I hadn't watched it since I was a kid, and I liked it even better now because I could understand a lot of the jokes. And Tim Allen is just super funny. And then here is the sequel to Gone with the Wind, Scarlet. Shaft, only person that understands him is his woman. In Shrek 2, this is also sealed, and so when I watched it, it was the first time that anybody ever watched it, and it was actually in pretty good condition. Sketch Artist 2 and Silver. This is another erotic thriller, I think. This sounded super interesting. I mean, just look at that fucking cover. Sister Act. I've never seen this, but I've heard it's hilarious. I mean, a lot of people say it's Whoopi Goldberg's best movie. Personally, I liked her in Star Trek as Guinan. And then Stripes, very funny movie. Classic from my childhood. Small Soldiers. This was one that I probably borrowed from the library more times than I could count. Really good movie. At least I hope it's as good as I remember. Speed, starring Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Haven't seen this movie. Don't kill me, I don't know how the hell I've missed it. But I'm excited to watch it because it sounds like, I know it's non-stop action. Then we're getting to the 3 films I'm probably the most proud to own on VHS. Star Wars, the original Star Wars. What do I mean by original Star Wars? This is the theatrical cut. Theatrical cut you can only get on VHS, Laserdisc, and there might be a few copies of the DVD version, but they're extremely difficult to find. The best ones to find are the VHS and the Laserdisc. Or not necessarily, well, I guess I don't mean the best find, the ones that are easiest to find. But who knows? We'll see. I mean, George, I love you, but come on, man. A lot of fans love those original ones. There's Empire Strikes Back, the theatrical version, and Return of the Jedi. All 3 of these are not in great condition. I've watched them. There's a problem with the picture and the audio skipping. So I'm going to burn all 3 of those to DVD because those are probably going to be on their last legs within a couple of years, if not sooner. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. This was, again, another one that I liked as a kid, and I love even more as an adult because it's just silly, and I like the 4 turtles taking on these 2 giant monsters, and the Super Shredder, and all that good stuff. True Lies. Why is this not available on Blu-ray yet? I don't know. It's available on DVD, but Jim Cameron has not done a
HD version of this, or The Abyss for that matter, and that blows my mind. Like, there's 100 different versions of Avatar, but we don't have an HD version of The Abyss or True Lies. The Truth About Lying, never seen that one, but it sounded super interesting. The Tuxedo, starring Jackie Chan. This is kind of a slapstick comedy. I don't think I've seen this. It's Hollywood Video, so it used to be a rental. And I've got two more. Unlawful Entry with one of my favorite actors, Kurt Russell. And last but not least, The Watcher, which stars James Spader, Marisa Tomei, and Keanu Reeves. And I believe Keanu Reeves plays a stalker or the Watcher in this movie. And I'm excited to see him play a bad guy because he doesn't do that often. So that is my VHS collection, or at least my other VHS collection. My horror movies are with my DVDs and Blu-rays over there in my background. But I just kind of wanted to show that off. You know, this style of movie watching was part of my childhood, and it's a shame to see people just throw them away. You know, laugh if you will, but I say donate them, sell them, find another home for them. Don't just throw them away, because I hate to see things go to waste. But there's a lot of really good movies that are available only on VHS or Laserdisc, unfortunately. It'll be interesting to see if they ever get caught up with Blu-ray or DVD, depending on how far it goes into digital. I mean, I guess digital is the way of the future. I love physical media because it's there and it's here to remind me where my love of movies started. And it's like I always have a physical collection, but be interesting to see where the future takes us. So thanks always for watching. Comment below, let me know what kind of stuff do you collect, what does your movie collection look like, what's your favorite movie that you have. Comment below, let me know. Thanks always for watching. Have a great day.